So Fayetteville may look like a real estate haven from 1,000 feet up, but if you plant your roots in the wrong zip code, you could end up with flood premiums, higher taxes,
and
those late night parties from your neighbors, or surprise traffic headaches that the listing photos don't show you. So today I'm going to break down 5 zip codes that most buyers ask for in this area. In 3 reality checks, most people already know that live in that zip code that you need to know before you buy this house. So the first zip code I talk about is 28348, which is Hope Mills. Now, and this is where I live, so I may be a little biased about my reasons of why I like living here. It may benefit you, it may not benefit you, but let's quickly get started. First reason will be that small town vibe. Hope Mills is a population of about 17,000 people, and we've got the Hope Mills Lake. We've got a nice movie theater with about 14 screens, I believe. 2 Walmarts nearby. I'm literally 2 miles from each Walmart, and I really don't even go there. I go to the small Walmart. We've got a Lowe's out here. We've got a putt-putt golf. We've got the Hope Mills Rec Center, which has I believe, a 2-mile track that actually circles around the fire department and the police department. So definitely, if you're walking there late at night, or if you're feeling it's not a safe area, it circles the police department and the fire department. So if you get hurt, running or walking, whatever, fire department's right there, police department's right there also. And the home prices in Hope Mills are not much higher than Fayetteville. I'd say you probably get around the same type house, that say a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, maybe a bonus room for about between 17 to 1,900 square feet. It's probably looking around 260 to about 290 maybe.
That sounds pretty good.
Sounds very good.
All right.
And in Fayetteville, you're probably looking around the same price. Home maybe a slight difference, a little higher in Hope Mills because it is a more desired area, but not much difference. And the taxes in Hope Mills are a little cheaper than they are in Fayetteville. So you're only paying town taxes in Hope Mills and, of course, the county taxes, which in Fayetteville, depending where the house is at, it could be a little bit higher because you're paying that city tax and you're paying that Cumberland County tax also. So obviously, areas that are more suburban are going to be more expensive than they are rural. Now, there's some parts of Hope Mills that are more rural than the town itself. Like there's an area called Grays Creek. A lot of people like living out there because you're still Hope Mills, but you're only paying that county taxes. So it's a little cheaper. You're not far from not that Hope Mills is a bustling area, but you're not far from, shopping, Walmart, movie theaters. Like I said, depending where in Grace Creek, you're probably looking at about a 10, 12-minute drive. Number 3 reason why most people like living out here is definitely the school districts. We have Southview High School. We have Grace Creek High School. Grace Creek High School is, like I said earlier, more in the rural areas of Hope Mills. Southview is in the town area of Hope Mills. As a real estate agent, I can't go into details about each school. I can't give you my opinion due to the Fair Housing Act, but I can provide data for you. Definitely below, you'll see a link called NC Report Cards on Demand that gives you every report card for every school in North Carolina. So even if you're not buying a house in Fayetteville, Cumberland County area, you can look at any school in North Carolina. And if you go on this website, you'll look up Hope Mills. You'll see the data for the high school and for the both high schools, Southview and Grace Creek. And if you look at elementary schools, they're in there. Looking at kindergarten, elementary school, middle schools, they're all there. So here come the 3 reasons why living in Hope Mills might be not in your best interest. And one of them is going to be the traffic. It's not horrible. I live off Legion Road, and I know the back ways of getting, and I'm not going through the down what we call Main Street, which turns into Hope Mills Road once you hit Fayetteville. It does get a little bottlenecked right there. Obviously, first things in the morning, people going to work, and obviously in the afternoon between 5 and 7 when people come home at night. But I usually go down Legion Road and shoot right into Fayetteville. I have to go into Fayetteville. I do work my office is in Fayetteville, so that's a straight shot for me. But I know sometimes people are going to take their kids out to school, or they go down Main Street, Hope Mills Road. It's going to be a little congested. Basically, what I would tell you is definitely find the back ways. If you're moving here, you don't know the back ways, get on your Google, Siri map, whatever, Google map, and just great things about those maps now is they give you updates. It tells you where the bad areas are. And if you can avoid it and save a few minutes of sitting in traffic, then definitely do that. If it's like, nah, I'm not worried about it, then, that's totally up to you, of course. Another con, or it could be a pro, depending on you, is if you work on Fort Bragg. Of course, we have a lot of military families moving here. So you're looking about a 25-minute commute or 30-minute commute to Fort Bragg from Hope Mills, depending on where in Hope Mills you live, depending on where on Bragg you work. So if you are wanting a faster commute, definitely I would not choose the Hope Mills area. If you don't care, then that could be a pro for you. You want to get far as away as you can from the base, then definitely Hope Mills is a good area. I would say like I said, we're like 25, 30 minutes away. Number 3 for me is we don't have a lot of restaurants here. So if you'd like to go out and eat a lot, we don't have a big variety. You definitely had to head into Fayetteville. But for me, where I live at Hope Mills, it maybe take me 15 to 20 minutes to head to a restaurant I want to head to. Anything off of McPherson Church Road is typically, it's called Restaurant Road. That's what we kind of nicknamed it here in Fayetteville. If you go to McPherson Church Road, you'll see all the named chain restaurants: Olive Garden, Red Lobster, Outback
Steakhouse Extreme,
Texas Roadhouse, just to name a few. That are right there. And then the mall is literally half a mile away. And over at the mall, they're opening up a Twin Peaks. Depending on when you see this video, they've got Bahama Breeze over there. They've got Lone Star? They got another steakhouse over there by the mall. I forgot the name of it. So not a lot of restaurants in Hope Mills, but don't get me wrong, we do have some good restaurants here. I love Sammio's. Good Italian restaurant. We've got Elizabeth Pizza. It's technically in Fayetteville, but it's right at that borderline of Hope Mills and Fayetteville. You're literally a block away from Hope Mills from Elizabeth Pizza. So I'll definitely count it. It's my list. It's my reasons. I'll definitely count it. We've also got Rodino's over by the movie theater. A nice little bar and grill. I love, me and the family like going there a lot. And there is a Mexican restaurant in the parking lot, and I can't remember the name of it. I'll throw it up on screen here in front of you. La Casa or La Carsa. I know I'm butchering the name of it. Sorry, guys, if you're watching this video. And then, of course, we've got Mi Casita, another Mexican restaurant right down the street. Of course, we have our chain of fast food places: McDonald's, Taco Bell, Burger King, Bojangles. All that stuff is right there off Main Street. Waffle House. So definitely, if you're looking for something fast food, it's right there. Not a problem to find. Next zip code I talk about is 28314. And this zip code is pretty big. So some parts of 28314 is right off Yakin Road, which is right next to the gate. So that's a plus for you if you are wanting to live right next to Fort Bragg and buy a house over there where you're literally 5-10 minutes away. I've got a client right now. He just went under contract. He didn't buy in 28314, but he was definitely heavily looking over there real good. Well, he was looking at a house over there. He ended up buying something over off in another zip code that's near the base. I'll get that zip code in just a second, and I'll tell you what zip code that is. But he was looking at just being close to the base, to where he was looking at a house that may not have a garage, but as long as he was 5-10 minutes away from the base, he could just go to the base, work out, start his day off right. But if he was a little farther away, he wanted something with a garage so he can have his own little gym. And like I said earlier, off Yakin Road, you've got Cottonade subdivision, you got LaGrange subdivision. They're right next to the Yakin Road gate, Yakin Road and Raleigh Road gate. And also we have 2 commissaries and 2 PXs or BXs, depending how you pronounce it, that are right there. So you got the Southside Commissary and the Southside BX, PX. So if you go to the commissary a lot and you shop there a lot, definitely this will be a plus for you. So 28314 is definitely, if you're looking for entertainment in the malls and things like that, all the restaurants I just talked about earlier, 28314 is definitely your zip code, because the mall, Best Buy, movie theaters, any kind of entertainment is in typically a 28314 zip code. So if that's something you enjoy doing and going out a lot and going to Barnes & Noble and the mall, then look for something in this zip code. Now I talked about a little bit about the neighborhoods. Like I said, mentioned Cottonade, LaGrange. My mom lives in 28314 zip code. She lives right next to the mall. She lives in the Kendallwood Oaks subdivision. Then you've got the Lakes. You've got Devonwood. You got Water's Edge, all these neighborhoods that are real close. And now these are more established, older neighborhoods. Most of the homes in here were built in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Some newer, that are lots that have been sitting there for a while, another building in there. But these are just more older, established neighborhoods. So if that's what you look for, definitely gonna be a plus. It could be a con if not that's what you're looking for either. So it really depends on you. So one of the cons of living in a zip code is definitely gonna be the traffic. You're technically the heart of Fayetteville. It's one of and there's a couple zip codes that kind of meet right there in the middle, but 28314 is usually the heart of Fayetteville because, like I said, mall, movie theaters, all that stuff is right there. So you're looking at a lot of heavy traffic. Even on Saturdays and Sundays, I've seen traffic backed up a little bit, right? Especially right at Skybo and Morganton Road. It gets really bad right there.
Sorry, little traffic.
But All-American runs right through it. So if you can get on All-American and head right to the base, if that's where you're heading for, fantastic. Even if you're not heading to the base, you can definitely jump on All-American Freeway, connect with 295. You can make it easy access to, like I mentioned earlier, Yakin Road, Santa Fe Drive, all the way to Owen Drive where the hospital's at. And even though I mentioned the neighborhoods are a pro if you are wanting to live near the base, they can also be a con. Some of these older neighborhoods, you got potholes, you've got old infrastructure where they just haven't rebuilt it or renewed it. So you got some old roads that just need some TLC out there. All right, so the next zip code I talk about is going to be 28311. Now, this consists mainly of Ramsey Street, the north end, where Methodist College is at. You've got Country Club Drive, a little bit of Linden. Linden is a little town. It's in Cumberland County, but it's right outside of Fayetteville. Now, a lot of people like living out here because it is in the city, Fayetteville city limits, but it's a quieter vibe. It's not as busy. I mean, and it only take you a few minutes to get to the store, but there's Walmart out there. But the neighborhoods are a little bigger, a little deeper. Some of them, in my opinion, and so definitely a lot of people like living out there just because of that. It's very quiet. Now,
welcome to the neighborhood.
295 is coming through there, so actually makes it a little easier if you want to get on base. If that's one of your, if you work on the base and want to be near the base for whatever reason, then you're not too far. And you're right, you butt up right next to Spring Lake also. So if you take Ranch Street all the way north, you will run right into Spring Lake. If you take Elliott Bridge Road, and I'm throwing a lot of streets at you, so you're probably thinking, what the hell is he talking about? But when you get here and you get on your Google map, you'll see what I'm talking about. So the client I mentioned earlier who were looking in the 28314 zip code actually bought over here in this zip code. He bought a house over near College Lakes. Well, we're actually pending. Hopefully, the time of the video when you see it, he bought it or we're sold. But anyway, bought a house, older home, but that's what he's looking for, and he doesn't mind. And the house he's looking at, like I said earlier, he's right next to the base, so he doesn't have a garage. I don't believe he has a garage, but he's right next to the base, so it's basically what he wants. So definitely that's something you look for. This zip code and 28314, your two zip codes that are closest to the base. Now he's on the north end, so he's going to be near the North Side Commissary and the North Side PX. That's a good thing also, definitely right there. And Spring Lake right there is just up the street. If you're going to Methodist College or you want to be near Methodist College right down is right off Ranger Street. We've got Fayetteville State University, which is right off Merchant Road, which you're maybe, depending where in the zip code, is maybe 5 to 7 minutes away from it. So two pros if that's that's what you're looking for, something to be near the colleges. So three things people don't like about living in this area. If you are looking for some type of nightlife or something to do, go to the movie theaters, mall, it's going to be a little bit of drive if you live in the north end of Ramsey Street. Nothing crazy. I think maybe 10 to 12 minutes right into 28314, which is zip code I just mentioned. If you're looking for, going to restaurants, checking out downtown, whatever, it's going to take you, 10 to 12 minutes possibly, depending where you live at. So that could be a con if that's not what you're looking for. I know it says it's a little quieter vibe over there, but obviously it is growing. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got Linden, North Carolina, a little town right outside of Fayetteville. If you take Grand Street, you'll run right into Linden. So it's getting a little, the traffic's getting heavier and heavier on Ramsey Street. There are some side roads. You got Stacy Weaver Drive. You've got, 295 coming right through there. So it is kind of alleviating some of the traffic, but just be aware you're going to have that morning and evening traffic, on Ramsey Street where it's going to get a little bottled up and, but good thing is, they got traffic lights there. So they're, I don't live on that end, so I can't really talk about it like I live over there, how bad it could be or not be. So I don't want to, give you wrong information, but I have been over there when the traffic has been bad, and it's not terrible in my opinion, but it can get a little bottlenecked over there. So the taxes over in this area are a little higher. So if you are looking for something with lower taxes, if you're looking to buy a property, you may want to avoid this zip code and look for something more in a rural area. The next zip code I'll talk about is going to be a little more rural. So that's really going to depend on you, and it's pretty close by. And the next area I talk about is going to be Stedman. Stedman is a 28391 zip code, and Stedman has a population of 1,000 people. But the cool thing is you could jump on 295 and be right next to Stedman pretty quickly from Ramsey Street. So one thing about people loving Stedman earlier, obviously, is their rural country living charm. It's definitely, like I said, only 1,000 people, and I don't even have that many people. Vanessa Perez, she's one of the realtors who work with us at All American Realty. She lives out there. She loves it. She has chickens. Her and her husband have chickens. They got turkeys. They got, a bunch of land. They love living out there. So if that's something you want, it's going to be an area for you. Now, her husband is in the military, so his commute to base, I think I talked to him a couple weeks ago. We were hanging out, and I think he said it's maybe 25, 30-minute drive to the base.
It's a long drive.
Sometimes a little longer, but it's a longer drive, but you're not typically getting caught in traffic. You can jump on, 295 and head right into the base. So that makes it a little easier. Traffic's, 55 to 60, 70 miles an hour, but it is a longer drive. So just be prepared for that. But you may avoid all the traffic. So if you're looking, obviously, it's a rural area. With any rural area, if you're looking for more lots, more acres, little cheaper taxes, and just the home price is a little cheaper, definitely Stedman's going to be your area. Third pro is going to be that close-knit community. So if that's something you're liking, definitely check out the area. Vanessa Neger said when they, as they're living out there, they have events they all attend. Everybody knows everybody just about out there. So when they have their Christmas parade or 4th of July parade or something like that, or some kind of event, they all kind of know who each other is, know what's going on. So it's definitely got that little small town vibe, like I mentioned earlier. It's great if that's what you're looking for, and it's you kind of, everyone keeps out and looks out for everybody out there. 3 reasons why people hate living out here. I just hit on it a few minutes ago, with Vanessa's husband. It's a 25, 30-minute commute to Fort Bragg. So, if you are looking to travel to Fort Bragg, you got to drive. If you don't work at Fort Bragg and you have to work in the city, to downtown, it's not a far drive, maybe 10 minutes. But if you're heading to like the heart of Fayetteville, which I mentioned earlier, 28314 zip code, you're probably looking about a good 25, 30-minute drive too. Like I said, our office is off Rayford Road, and when Vanessa comes into the office from her house, I want to say she said it's like a 20-minute drive. I'm not sure. Depending on you, it could be a long commute. You may like that and don't mind the commute because you have time to think, whatever. But just be aware, the commute's about 20, 30 minutes. Of course, with a small town, you have limited opportunities, limited amenities out there.
Man, take your ass back to Mayberry.
There's a iCarly Seas, or IGA, iCarly Seas. I think that's a TV show. There's a Carly Seas out there, so you have a grocery store right there. You got a drugstore right there, right in Stedman. And I believe there's a food line maybe 5 to 7 minutes away. So not terribly far, but if you're looking to go to the Walmart or movie theaters or restaurants, you got to come into Fayetteville. And obviously with the fewer amenities, fewer jobs out there also. You're not looking at, unless you own your own business out there in Stedman or close by, or something like that. There's not a lot of job opportunities at all out there at all. So everything's in Fayetteville. So that's obviously one of the cons also. All right, next zip code I talk about is going to be 28301. Now, this consists of downtown area, a little bit of Haymount, a little bit of Merchant Road. So if you are living here in a 28301 area code, zip code, you are right next to our minor league baseball team, the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, Seagram Stadium. You're close to downtown, where the stadium's at. We've got Special Ops Museum down here. Got a nice downtown area, a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants down here. They were supposed to be building a Crown Complex Center that's now not going to happen, which is a big disappointment to me, to everybody else that's around town. That's something we were looking forward to, but unfortunately they're not building it now for whatever reason. Some bunch of political bullshit probably, don't know. Also, another cool thing about downtown is you are, depending on the areas, you are allowed to carry a drink with you. So not that you can bring your own beer, BYOB, but if you are in, say, let's say Piero's, one of the favorite town restaurants for me and the wife, is you can get a drink from there, put it in a plastic cup, and you can walk two stores over to a coffee shop or to another restaurant, to another bar. So there are some areas of the social district. As you can see right here in front of you, it gives you the times of when this started. And here's the website that'll help you out more with that. I don't want to tell you guys something wrong. Things do change, unfortunately. And so, this may or may not apply once you see this video. So definitely check out the website. That's one of the cool things. We do have a parking garage downtown. I think it's like 3 or 4 levels. So definitely if you want to park downtown, I'm not sure how much it is. And then you can also park on the streets if you can find it. It's typically about $1 an hour to park on the street. So not too bad. I think on weekends and after certain times, it's even free. If you want to head to downtown, it's one of the perks of living in 28301. And I mentioned Haymount earlier. You're probably thinking, what is Haymount? You may not be thinking asking what is Haymount, but it's an older part of Fayetteville. Most of the homes here are built in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. But we also have some newer homes out here in the area. You got Van Story Hills out here, so it's considered Haymount, I believe. You got Huntington Park. So not much older, but if you like living out here, the homes are a little closer, a little tighter community. You've got some parks out here. You got Maverick Park, you got General Lee Park out here. So if that's something you're looking for, definitely check out the Haymount area. Now the homes are a little more expensive, older homes. So you're looking at homes that start around typically about $350 on up. I just sold a home off of Rayford Road. I'm in Haymount area for $500,000. It was listed at $500,000. So for $487,500. It was 4 to 5 bedrooms, just over 3,000 square feet, right next to a lake. So homes are a little more expensive, but they are older homes too, so be careful of that. If you're looking to buy a house out there, make sure everything's up to date with wiring, electrical, plumbing, all that good stuff. And 3 reasons why people hate living down here. I think I just hit on one of them with the homes. Now, of course, you're looking at older infrastructure. So there are some potholes down there in the 28301 zip code. You've also got sidewalks. If you're looking to walk around, sidewalks. So some sidewalks are messed up. Some are not. They're trying to get it back up and nice looking and stuff like that. So it's not horrible, but just be aware of that. But they are working on it. Now we've got the Market House right in the middle of downtown, and they are actually working on that. I think they're refurbishing it or rebuilding it or something like that. So you've got some construction right there. Like I mentioned earlier, they're supposed to be building a Crown Coliseum Center downtown. Now it's just a big hole with caution tape all around it. No one knows. If they mentioned earlier, I have no idea what they're going to do with this. A lot of people mentioned make the parking lot bigger. It was a parking lot at one time, so no idea what they're going to do with it. But just be aware, a lot of construction downtown. Train runs through downtown, so if you are in a hurry and a train comes through there, be aware the train it stops sometimes and it goes backwards and it goes forward. So definitely I would recommend you take Rowan Street, which is an overpass right over the train. So if you're in a hurry or if you don't want to wait for the train, take that road, Rowan Street or West Rowan Street. I'm sorry, Grove Street, not Rowan Street. My apologies. Grove Street is overpass right over the train. So if you're in a hurry, take that. Other than that, though, you can be caught by the train sometimes. When I was a police officer and I'd be trying to go to a call and I was in a hurry, train, of course, always wants to come through right when I'm headed to a call. Now, some areas of downtown, and you probably heard it, Merchant Road, have some bad crime. Some parts of Merchant Road have cleaned up a little bit, but it's still an area that you need to be aware of. Again, through the Fair Housing Act, I can't give you my opinion. All I can do is provide data for you. Here is a crime mapping for the Fayetteville area, and definitely check out Murderson Road. Check out some areas of downtown that have higher crime than other places. So be careful. Be careful anyway. Definitely always lock your doors, be aware of your surroundings. If you're going out there to go drinking, have a good time, just be aware and have some people with you that are going to be sober and be your designated driver. So now if you're wondering what areas should you stay away from, you need to check out these two videos.